Well, greetings, loves. It's Ashley Avila, your favorite operational culture strategist and coach. And I am here to help ministries optimize internal systems and processes so that they can maximize external impact. Today, we have a lot to go over. We're going to be talking about one, what is operational culture? Two, exactly how and why it's so important for organizational health and growth. And three, how it can directly impact you as a team member and as a leader and the organization as a whole. But before we get into that, I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in today. And if you have any questions and you want to take the conversation a little bit further, feel free to like, share, and subscribe this with anybody that you think could benefit from this information. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. What is operational culture? Operational culture is the customs and norms surrounding operations implementation within the organization. So basically, how do you or your team respond when new systems need to be implemented in order to achieve new, different, and improved outcomes? I've had the opportunity to be in ministry for over 10 years, and I've been able to serve administratively, operationally, and creatively. I've had the opportunity to lead teams, and I've been blessed to be led by some exceptional leadership, whether it was by directly my pastor or by executive leadership. Throughout those years, the common practice I've seen consistently in ministries of all sizes is that the ministry focus is placed heavily on external execution, whether that be partnerships, events, volunteer retention and activation, and ultimately, survival. Internal operations seems to be an afterthought or something that develops without really any intentional care or thought given towards it. Trust and believe. As your ministry continues to grow, as you get more people, as more people express interest in wanting to partner and join and perform a certain function, job functions will automatically develop. And we recognize that the need for an admin or praise and worship leader or security team, we tend to focus on the fact that these things just kind of happen. And what I would like to do is shift your operational culture and ask the question, what or how successful do you think your internal operation would be if you actually place that at the forefront of your strategy? Exactly how would that affect everything that your ministry is doing? Community service or prison ministry or any of those expensive things that churches serve for in their community. Understanding that the focus on external is good, but the vision that God gave you is to cover the internal and the externals. As we make internal changes, it is viewed externally. And sometimes if we're not careful, external operations and how we show up in the world takes precedence over how we show up for ourselves. And please understand, I'm not trying to say that one is more important than the other. What I'm simply saying is that they are interconnected and interdependent. And you can have a long list of successful events or people that buy into what God has given you to produce, and you can be bankrupt internally, and your teams can be burnt out, and there can be a lack of organizational health that we use external triumphs to cover up the internal deficiencies. So which leads me to my next topic of discussion. Exactly how and why is operational culture so important for a healthy organization? Understanding your operational culture plays a vital role in its internal health. As believers, we are tasked and responsible for the things that God has granted us. A biblical principle we call stewardship, management. So more than money, more than the physical things that we might need, the systems or the software or the hardware or the instruments or the cameras, more important than all of that is people. Being intentional about examining operational culture illuminates our management of what God has given us. But I have to ask you, how are you intentionally preparing for the people that God has called to help you build? It is important as we embark on this journey of building what God has called us to build in your church, in your ministry, in your business, that we are absolutely intentional with preparing our systems, preparing our mind, and preparing the people that God grants to us. You can't sail the seas on a rowboat. I mean, you could, but that vessel wasn't meant for the open ocean. In like manner, you also can't have a cruise ship navigate in a puddle. Those environments and the systems that are meant to be within those environments are interconnected and interdependent. If God is calling you to an ocean-sized promise, but you have the operational capacity of a rowboat, you might need to check yourself. Or if you're trying to implement an ocean cruise ship size operational strategy, but meanwhile you're navigating the pond that you're in. That's good to be hopeful, but we also want to be reasonable and realistic. The problem isn't the rowboat, the cruise ship, or the ocean or the pond. Each one of those has a place in the ecosystem of life. However, trying to put one and mismatch it with the other is going to cause you a complete and total operational problem that is going to lead to frustration, anger, disappointment, and a lot of other pain points that I've been seeing throughout ministry. So top strategy is to pray, seek God, discuss with your ministry team, whether that be your spouse, your family, your trusted circle, and that should allow your thinking to be challenged so that you can ask the important questions. Important questions like, even though it hasn't happened yet, what do we need to prepare for it? And what is the timing needed to implement what we're preparing for? And also, are we willing to submit to the prep before the process? And I know you're like, whoa, Ashley, you got to embrace the process. You got to embrace the process 100%. But there's always prep for the process. If you are baking or cooking or building something, you must procure the materials. You must learn how to use said materials before you can embark on that journey of the building process. And oftentimes we focus on the process of it has to bake or the ingredients have to be mixed. Yes, all those things are absolutely important. But did you get your flour? Did you get your baking soda? Did you get your cream? Did you get the things that you need? And also, did you get proper instruction on how to use them? So are you prepared for the prep before the process? The honest answers to those questions have the power to invite innovation, or they can continue to perpetuate mediocrity within your ministry. The need for understanding operational culture can absolutely shift how you show up for the people that you say God has called you to. It's important that we take ownership of our own operational culture as individuals, ministries, departments, divisions, teams, as we continually embark on this wonderful journey of building what God has called us to build. Doing that will directly impact and amplify the effect that we see in our own communities.